How's it going? And welcome to, excuse me, I guess I got to get this right. I can't say outside the box tonight. This is Tony's hour, or a couple hours. Yeah, welcome to the Cosmic Blueprint Show. I'm the co-host, Kate of Gaia, and we have Tony, the host. Where are you, Tony?
Yeah, I'm here, Kate.
All right, there you go. And we have Peter with us as well. And it looks like we've got the topic all fired up, and we're going to take it to a whole new level tonight, boys and girls. I hope you're ready for this. Put your seatbelts on. But tell me what's on your mind. Peter, what's on your mind?
You're cracking up a bit there. Could you just repeat that last one?
What's on my mind? How's that?
Okay, it's all good. What's on my mind? Crikey. Where do you want to start? But quite a lot of different topics. We've just done a great show earlier on this evening, exposing quite a few not so pleasant individuals in Parliament and what they've been up to, or basically followed off the back of the Jimmy Savile nonsense. But it's not too pretty out there. But look, let's look on the good side. All the negativity and the nasty stuff's getting exposed, and that paves the way to paint, a beautiful canvas with some new, beautiful information to make the repairs that we need to make to this situation. How's that sound?
That sounds just about right. Hey, it's all good. It looks like I just got word here we might have LB Bork calling as well, which would be that would be a nice surprise. That would be really good. So I'm hoping. And I do want to mention to people that you can call in. You can Skype in. All you have to do is refresh your Blog Talk page that you've got the show playing on to see the Skype button if it's not there. And those that want to call in on a landline may call in at area code 714-868-0749. That's 714-868-0749. So feel free. I've got the board. And Tony and Peter, well, they have the show.
Hi, yep. Peter. Good to have you on.
Yeah, just dealing with getting some FaceTime on a different level, if you know what I mean. I'm a little puffed up, but I'm putting it back trying to put it back in the box. I'm gonna have to have two taken out next Thursday, but no problem. Anyways, I'd like to start this night off with a little bang. Sovereign citizen training for law enforcement and prosecutors. Isn't that special, folks? Okay, I'm gonna get fired up on a tangent on the front end tonight because I've been saying this stuff for the last 2 minutes, the last 2 months, all these people running around saying, I want to be a sovereign citizen. Well, you know what? Go ahead and claim that freaking moniker, and you'll show who you are, and they'll be glad to NDAA your backside and put you in as a belligerent because they got plenty of incarceration space in Incarceration Nation now because we've just, got that new contract from the CCA, Corrections Corporation of America. It says, hey, we can guarantee you 90% max capacity in all of our warehouses, our merchandise warehouses for all the chattel property. Folks, you can't make this crap up. I mean, this is what I've been trying to tell everybody. Everybody's got to get their minds right. I love y'all, and the time to move in the right direction is now. So, folks, this is where your education comes in. I have a plethora of information specifically dealing with this sovereign citizen crap that everybody wants to claim on my website under the subsection of The Informer that you can go read for your personal consumption and get your mind right because I'm telling you, this is not a joke. This is for real, folks. So now we're going to step it up a notch. Now we got the insane state of Virginia. Where have I heard that state before? Anyways, so here's the irony, folks. They want to create a new category for classification, and that's the one they're using. All these people who want to say they want to be a citizen, go read the definition of citizen. You're a subject. You're a slave. I mean, you know the words that you use, and pick your words wisely, and know your status wisely, because if you fail to do so, it will have deleterious effects on you in a capacity unparalleled to none you've ever seen before. So continue to stay in the fog and not look through the smoke and mirrors and see the truth for what it really is, and you will stand divided in a place you never thought possible because of ignorance. Ignorance will be the death of my brothers and sisters. Hosea 4:6, my children perish for lack of knowledge. Well, folks, the only reason you're perishing for lack of knowledge is because you ain't going reading it. It's on my site. I can show you everything that I speak of, and I love you enough to share it with you and to tell you, but you got to take the action. So, I mean, we get back down to this action stuff. When do we wake up, folks? When do we pull the curtain back? You got all of us, a couple of us standing in the breach, and what?
Hey, Peter. There was a few comments that was made with regards to the sovereign citizen. What I'm going to try to do right now is lend a little bit of importance as to what you're saying, because these guys went as far as to assassinate a couple of people, Jerry and Joseph Kane.
And I knew of them, and I know exactly what you speak of. And you had your one folk guy in the room giving his world according to Garp perspective, because he doesn't have a clue. So to that gentleman who's on the Skype and who actually thinks he knows something, better get a grip, brother. You don't have a clue. Yeah,
the whole thing revolved around the fact that Jerry Kane
was uncovering the mortgage scam.
Yeah, he was very, very, very successful in uncovering the mortgage scam, and a very peaceful being. And the whole setup was they did have guns in the car, but they were completely legal as far as everything was concerned. And it's not uncommon for Americans to carry rifles in their cars, AK-47s included. One of the things that I did want to make clear. It's been a while. I covered this story extensively, insofar as even getting some people to talk to me about it. The setup occurred. It was a wrong call, and it was made, but it was effectively a setup, and they actually sacrificed the chief of police's son. That's how serious they are about wanting to entrap and give the public viewpoint of how dangerous sovereign citizens are. They actually took out a chief's son. His kid was sacrificed for it. And don't kid yourself, they did this, because when you look at the original 9-minute video from the police car, that from the actual scene, you will see, and it took them a while, and they didn't release the audio on any of the videos, which is also very interesting. But for the 9 minutes, you see Jerry walking back and forth to the van and getting a drink out of the van, talking with these cops. And what was actually occurring there was the cops and Jerry and Joseph were being basically held there so that the strike team could get there to set up this assassination massacre to try to take out Jerry and Joseph, who by quick thinking were able to defend themselves and get out of there. But the two cops were the main first targets, because it had to be the cops taken down so that they could brand sovereign type people with this whole danger moniker. And every time
and Kate, let me just interject, folks. For those of you who don't know what agent provocateur is, they are predictable. That's all they know how to do. Agent provocateur means we created the crap storm, and then we're going to point the finger at somebody else. And yeah, they did it with 911. They did it with the Gulf of Tonkin. They did it with World War I, World War II. Folks, they are predictable. I mean, hey, they're telling us straight up that they're the nefarious ones that be, and by their acts and deeds, you shall know them who they are. And folks, all you got to do, it doesn't take nothing to uncover this stuff. I mean, you just got to. Anyways, Kate, I was just interjecting that part about agent provocateur, just in case anybody didn't know what that is, and look it up on your computer so you'll have more clarity.
Yeah, they were all over the London riots as well. We had different areas of London with riots kicking off. We had agent provocateurs out there. The police actually took them down at one stage, and they've all got issue boots on, so you could see a mile off.
7-7. Look at the dates. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. It wasn't just that. It was several occasions. We had police pulling people off kids off bikes and beating them. Mendez got shot as well. That was another, a hit. And there was quite a few more. A lot of them are detailed in the book.
Yep. Anyways, Kate, carry on.
There's a lot of stuff surrounding this, and people just need to do their homework on it. Just pulling up some memory facts here that once I see some stuff, it'll definitely bring everything back into focus. Jerry Kane and his son Joe, and it's amazing when you see things like Jerry. this is the kind of garbage that came out, and you know it's agent provocateur. Jerry Kane and his scumbag son didn't amount to the white speck of to the white speck on a piece of dog shit. Okay, this is how quickly they turned public opinion based on agent provocateur assassination of a man and his son for actually getting around to helping people. And if you don't think what Peter had just said, oh, good, Patrice is in the chat room. Excellent. I'll be there in a sec. If you don't think what Peter is saying with regards to stick that moniker on you and look out, you better think again, guys, because, you know, we're dealing with some very, very dark entities here that will stop at nothing, including killing their own. And I'll lay dimes to donuts. I never got digging into it, but the chief who lost his son was guaranteed in the Masonic or of some nefarious group. And I'm not saying that all the Masonic is evil. I need people to get this. It was turned that way. Okay? It was, again, we go back to the assimilation of things that were kept that were good that got infiltrated and destroyed as a result. And I got to tell you, my firm feeling on it and intuitive on it is the fact that the chief knew this was coming, and he knew his kid was going to get sacrificed, because he was, for the most part, and any time I saw him in any of the interviews, he was lacking any real emotion, and anything that he did seem to put out was feigned. These are the kind of beings you're dealing with. So I need people to steer away from terms like free man or free man on the land, sovereign citizen, because they've got their attack dogs trained to jump at the first sign of it. And I'll tell you something, even if you motion like one of the ones that these guys are trained to jump on, they will automatically assume you to be a sovereign citizen or a sovereign or a free man on the land, and they will act accordingly.
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's why I've been trying to put out the message. Like I say, if you want some clarity on the subject, simply go to privatus.me, a free site for free private members. All private members coming through the front door, and you go pull up the Informer. Matter of fact, we broke it down into citizen equals subject articles. They're all separated. So, folks, you will get 100% clarity. You may not believe it when you first read it. I was sort of a little befuddled when I started reading it, but when I dug into it, it totally made sense, and it was 100% dead nuts correct. And now we're going to take this moniker that all you who want to use that moniker, and like I say, folks, you're all sovereign by just your ability of being alive. You don't have to state it ever. Whitbow versus Hopkins, it's a case where a man thereby is without having to state such. So quit using these damn words that will bind you up, because even if you don't say you're a sovereign citizen, just by saying the word sovereign, that will be the moniker that ties you into being a belligerent. And we got lovely Obama's new NDAA law passed at the stroke of midnight coming into this year, under everybody having their New Year's party and not paying attention to what was going on right in front of them. And, folks, that's the new created law for the citizen slaves. So go ahead if you really want to, lock onto that moniker. That's your choice, and you do so willingly and knowingly, but beware. They will use it against you, and that's the objective. That's why they're doing a beautiful little state-run seminar here in the state of Virginia, talking about the sovereign citizen movement. Well, they're not necessarily days, as they say in the article. Well, I got the article posted on the site over on Love and Me or whatever. So y'all just go pluck it up and read it for yourself. Start reading between the lines, folks, because they're really telling you what time it is. But so I don't use words like that. I've erased those from my vocabulary. And you need to, too, because if you use these words, they will use them against you for deleterious effects against you, and it's not going to be a good thing. So it's not wise, folks. It's just, it really isn't. They'll know us by our words, and if you don't know how those words apply and you're using them, then you're using them out of ignorance, and those words can and will be used against you, just like all the crap that goes on in their fiction courts.
I totally agree.
They'll, you use these words you know, I was in the military 10 years. I believed in God and country. I didn't believe in the crap they were feeding me. You know, I got my mind right. I knew something was amiss, so I started digging deeper, and I started looking into the words and what they meant and how they were applied. And folks, all these words that everybody's running around using, I just had a whack a friend of mine in California. She decided she wanted to be a sovereign citizen. I said, okay, I got to help get her mind right real quick, and I sent her an 11-page document that gave her total clarity and to never use those words again. And she now got the memo, and she understood. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. So go over to Privatis, privatis.me, and go look it up for yourself, folks. Read it for yourself. Remember I told you I don't state anything I can't prove, and it's in black and white right in front of your eyes if you're willing to read it.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm back. I'm back. So carry on, guys.
Anyways, yeah, that was a starting point, and that's a post. And they're up to, it's Tricks is for Kids hour, folks. That's all it is. Tricks is for kids. They want to create the mayhem, and they want to suck you in. But like I say, it all starts with a paradigm shift in your mind. For those who are disbelievers, you know, I'll hold a candle with you on any subject, any issue, and I'll give you clarity to a point that you can't play ostrich no more. Because I only come from a position of truth. If I can't prove it in black and white, then I'll shut my mouth. That's where I come from. That's where I live. I'm an educator and a researcher, and I know how to research real good. They hide it right in plain sight, folks. You're just not paying attention.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot more to this. The deeper you go, the more you find out. I don't know if you know anything about the Noahide laws either, Peter.
I've vaguely, not much though.
Yeah, all about if people declare themselves to be Christians, etc. And the Pope passed certain laws, all to do with the FEMA camps and various other bits and pieces. People should look those up as well. And those are Noahide laws. But again, do some research on it, and you'll find the truth. But absolutely, that's what it's all about: doing the research on it.
Yeah. You know, this is a like I said, it's a paradigm shift. This is a wake up call, folks. The bear is about on your doorstep, all of you. If y'all don't stand in the breach with us, you know what? You know, yeah, they can come whack us, but it's all good. What are you going to do? So when are you going to draw your line in the sand? When are you do the wake-up call? You know, like I say, we do this with the passion in our hearts and the love in our hearts to share with you the truth. This is just, there's a lot more of us than there is them. But it seems the lot more of us would rather everybody else go into the breach before them and not get their spines right. Folks, this is your children. They're going to go into the breach, and they're going to do these bad things to them. Forced inoculations and forced Obamacare, forced chip system, forced this, forced that, because you're not waking up, because you're giving over by your failure, your acquiescence to silence. So failure to state anything, when you stand in your silence, it means you agree with what the bootlickers want you to do. So it's really that simple. So, you know, when do you stand up for yourself? I can't do it for you. I can't grow you a spine.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But I have a caller, Terry, that's called in here and has, some questions regarding divine province. And I want to clarify that for people listening, that it is divine province. I hear some people saying providence. That's the state of being, which is it's okay. We hear it all the time. Just trying to get that clarified. And I also want to make mention here that we are, while we are members of divine province, we are nothing to do with the administration. And we do get asked a lot of questions, many questions we cannot answer because we cannot answer them. We're just like the rest of you guys. We have our own questions, but we are members of divine province. So we can answer questions to the degree that our knowledge allows. But I just want people to get this part of it, is that we are not administration for divine province. We are merely spokespeople and members. We like what it is, and we're sharing the truth of that with people to get across the bridge. And on that note, Terry, what's your question?
Yes, once you do go in with your payment, how long does it take for you can go in and start the process with the paperwork?
No, we're not. Hey, Kate, we're not answering those questions. That's a PMG question. That's not a Kate from Gaia show question. I'm in the PMG myself. I'm on the private side, sweetheart. But you know what? You can't ask those questions. You know why? Because the variables of life change from day to day. So you got to go ahead and have the faith of a mustard seed, move forward or not. If it resonates with you, great. But I'm not going to give you a time frame. Nobody's going to give you a time frame because then people get pissed off when you give them time frame. So, you know, we're not going there. That question. Thank you.
Just, and to be fair, you know, Terry, with me, it took, for me, this was what happened to me. It was a couple of weeks. There was a lot of glitches going on. They had a lot of stuff to do. So people have just got to, like Peter said, just got to be patient. And any questions we have, we put tickets in as well. So we're all part of the same team here. And
well, I appreciate that time frame. That gives me a little bit better idea.
Yeah. Again, it's, you know, most of the problem, and you'll find this with anything. It's not just PMG. When you're dealing with PayPal, they got a great way of. They like taking the money, but they certainly hold on to it for a while. So there's always that issue as well. So, and it's been very frustrating for many, myself included. I'm a patient soul, though. I'm one that just deals, and when it gets here, great. I don't worry about stuff like that. I just move forward, and it will happen exactly when it's supposed to. That's the now.
Okay. One other question with Patrice. She's dealt with a lot of issues with her identity and stuff like that. That's the whole thing. Once this does come into place, kind of wondering how to speak the jargon back to him. She seems to do quite well. However, she speaks very fast.
Oh, I know. And really, it's not even so much about the jargon. Once you know who you are and you're standing in that, it takes a little bit of work to. And I say this to everybody with regards to any sort of learning. Just spend a bit of time looking at the site. Go into the forums once everything's set up for you. I mean, you could have it within 24 or 48 hours. It could take a week. Who knows? But as soon as you're in that, the forums are there, and there are many, many, many people in the forums that are be more than happy. I guarantee you on the forums, any question you have has already got a topic started on it. It's great.
I've looked at Peter's site, your site, and I'm signed up to all of them. So, and it is a lot of information. I've gotten probably doubles and triples. So
oh yeah.
Go through and do that.
Yeah, you can imagine how we felt gathering it up over the years. It's been quite a task to put all that together, and it can be very overwhelming. But we are here, you know. I just want you to know that we are here, and we will answer the questions that we can answer. But again, and I say this to everyone, just a little patience, and things will happen exactly when they're supposed to. In the meantime, just educate yourself, and you'd be amazed at how much more proficient you get once you have reestablished your own status. It does change your whole universe. It does. You'll see for yourself.
I realize that, and when I've talked to people, and they want to hear this, they want to believe this, but they crook their head and think you're crazy. But I had to go to the hospital the other night, and I boxed my signature on everything. So I'm hoping, and I'm still doing it everywhere. So
good.
And telling everyone. So hopefully they'll get it. I send your site. I understand that it is a huge leap of faith for slaves to come out.
Oh, exactly. And again, Terry, what you're doing there, just in the action, it's the intent. Never mind the physical action or the words or anything. It is the intent. When people go out just to simply box their signature, regardless of what it does, when you have the intent to do that, you have the intent to change things. You're showing that the system is broken. You're showing that the money is worthless. These are the actions of a God. Okay? This is you and everyone that's doing it changing their own paradigm. And watch the ripple effect. The butterflies are flapping their wings all over the world now. The tsunamis are hitting. They really are.
Yep, it's our time. I'm ready.
Atta girl, I love it. All right, well, any other questions or comments you want?
No, just to say I appreciate all of you guys. Patrice, on up and on down, Peter, everybody, Santos, everybody's wonderful.
We're all here for you, and I know
and didn't mean to snap at you, sweetie. I got another but love for you. The only thing I just want to say in reference to this, for all those out there who are trying to come over, I know there's some glitches and I know some stuff, but you've been on the slave plantation your entire life. So guess what? The upside is you're getting the hell off of it, and there you can rest in your heart and say, I'm moving forward even if I'm getting a little glitch here and there. So I'm with you. I care about you enough to state what I stated. I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings.
Oh, I understand. You're from Jersey. It's okay.
Hey, forget about it. What you talking about? I'm from Connecticut. Hey, forget about it.
My neighbor next door is from Jersey, and he's quite wonderful. Couldn't have a better friend.
Thank you. Yeah. Don't hold being a Yankee against me,
Yeah. Peter had to go to the dentist today, so he's a miserable little prick right now. It's all good. We love him.
Yep.
Well, I guess I have a draw, so you must think I'm from the South.
It's all right. We're all from here, and it's all good. It doesn't. I don't get into territories. That's the division they created for us all. See?
Yeah.
I never had it. I've never had it. I'll never have it. I never understood it as a child. I never understood violence. I never understood any of it. It was all around me. Still is. Don't accept it. I shall not comply. It does not.
Very good.
And you're changing the world just with the changing of your mind. The Guard is changing as well, and we are it. So we got a beautiful world coming. We're building it thought by thought. Every time you box a signature, every time you think about it, changes the world. That's the grain.
I got the box 4 times today. I loved it.
Oh, Peter. Anyway.
Really appreciate you guys.
You're welcome.
Terry, thank you so much, love. I'll put you back on hold so you can keep listening. And any other questions, I can check in with you a little bit later. But stay tuned. And again, I tell everyone I'm here. If there's something I can help with, I would certainly do what I can. We do get the information out on the air to let people know that there's only so much that they at Divine Providence can do. They got hit with a lot of people really, really fast, and I have to apologize for being part of that, but that's okay. It's all good.
That's good. That everything's moving the way it's supposed to.
Exactly. So anyway, I'm here, and you probably have my email. If not, you know how to get a hold of me through the blog page.
Oh, yeah. Kate, I've been emailing you for a few weeks, and you always answer, always.
Okay, well, I'm here. I'm still here. I love you.
Love you too. Y'all guys take care.
Take care of you.
Anybody else who wants to come on deck?
Yeah, Tony, get on deck. It's your show.
Yeah. I was going to say, is there anybody else lined up there, Kate? Or because Kevin was trying to get on a moment ago. I didn't know if he succeeded or not.
No, we're good. I just had the one caller, and I'll just tag you in your Skype direct to let you know if I have a caller. So yeah, there you go. So carry on, guys. You guys are on a good roll, so I'm letting you fly. You're wound up. Go. It's Friday.
Yeah. Cool.
I posted in some of the Skype rooms from the Informer. I actually pulled up the document. It was just a matter of a click of the button to hopefully everybody can go look at it. So that's a primary article, folks, that will give you a lot more clarity on these words that everybody's using. It's on the privatist.me site, and it's for your consumption, your knowledge base, because I can't put in your head what I have in my head, because I got it in my head because I actually dug in, read it, understood it, comprehended it, internalized it, and knew that this was dead nuts right. But it's a really good read, folks. It's a few pages. It's called, it's by the Informer, Citizen Equals Subject, American Equals England. So it's a real good read. It's easy to digest and easy to understand. So, this is, like I say, our knowledge base starts with us. It really does, folks. I mean, and there's so much good information on the site. It's all meat and potatoes. Bring your fork and bring your knife. No bibs allowed because there's no baby food there, because that's all I put is meat and potatoes. I'm giving you proofs. I'll give you proofs about the birth certificate bond. I'll give you proofs about how this structure got started from beginning to end, as far as how this stuff has been going on for 2,000 years. And it's not hard to follow, folks. If anybody out there is listening hasn't watched Changes on the Horizon, Part 2, don't worry about Part 1. Don't worry about Part 3. Go straight to the meat and potatoes, Part 2, and it will give you a total expose very easy to follow and understand on the banking system. It's a video. Hey, I know y'all can watch stuff. I mean, hey, everybody's been watching TV their entire life, and they know how to use the clicker. So, I'm not being facetious here. I'm just saying, there's piles and piles of simple, easy-to-understand information. So when you get your epiphany or your clarity moment, you're going to get it because you got your mind right and you effectively understood what you were reading or watching. So, but until you have the change in between your ears, you're still stuck there. So this was designed and created to help my brothers and sisters get unstuck with verifiable proofs on every level about how you are a 14th Amendment citizen, how it starts with the birth certificate. It's incredible information. I got an educational page, a videos page, an audios page, and this is where the meat and potatoes is. You don't have to hardly go nowhere else. I mean, I'm gonna make it a one-stop shop, folks. I'm gonna make it simple. I'm gonna dump. I got a plethora of medical knowledge and information that I'm going to be bringing forward as well. I'm fixing to expand the site in a whole different way so you can expand your mind and get the truth straight up with both barrels. And when you do, you can't be conned anymore, because that's all it is one big happy con. It's one big happy corporation. There is no such thing as government. They call themselves government, but they're all just bad actors. I couldn't make this stuff up. I'm not that smart. I'm just a high school grad, folks. I'm not college educated. But you know what? I actually understand, and I understand what I read, and I have capacity, and so don't you. Everybody does. Excuse me.
Like you said, the good thing there, Pete, was that when you actually, understand and comprehend the magnitude of what they've done, it's like, oh shit, yeah, I can see it now. You can see it, like you said, from the birth certificate right the way through to the bonding, and right the way through to the monetization, the criminalization, everything. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's really broke down. Folks, I've gone through 25 years of research, and guess what I've done? I've circumvented the 25 years. You don't have to go through 25 years of what I've gone through. I'm giving it to you freely. I'm bringing you straight to the quick. We're cutting through the wheat and the chaff so you don't have to go through the wheat and the chaff. So all these people stuck on the UCC processes and all that stuff out there, folks, that's a secondary trust, and it puts you further underneath the corporation and the operation of the corporation. Yeah, you got to cut the Gordian knot. It starts with the birth certificate bond, all this stuff, and I've done this stuff. So you know what? I'm coming from a position of knowledge. I've done international bills of exchange. I've done administrative processes across the board. But it took me going through all that. You know what? No knowledge is wasted knowledge if it brings you out the other side, and that's what all this has done. So, folks, I've been down the path. I already ran the run, and guess what? Now you're going to get a benefit of not having to run the run I ran, and you're going to get to move forward on a different level, effectively, efficiently, exponential learning curve that nobody can take away from you, because once you get it, you really get it, and that's how I got to where I'm at. I'm not more special than anybody else. I was just willing to look because I had to know the truth, and that's what it comes down to. When you find the truth, then you can stand in the breach and know who you are.
Exactly. It's no good playing in the fiction. It's like trying to play chess against an opponent that's got a different set of rules, and you're playing by one rules, and they're playing by the other rules, and you're wondering, well, how the bloody hell am I losing every flipping game of playing? Until you learn the rules that they play, and then you can play them against their own rules, then it changes everything. And once you find out those rules, they can't change them again. It's job done.
Right. Yeah, this is the stuff they don't want you looking at, folks. So you know what? It's all available. Doesn't take a minute. Save it as a favorite. Get on the site and start doing your due diligence. That's what we say. I don't believe anything I say. Matter of fact, that's the first thing that come out of my lips. I want you to prove it to yourself. So until you can prove it to yourself, you're not allowed to listen to anything I say, because I could be lying to you, but I'm not. But I could be. So this is what's happened in the connection of communication across the lines in USA Inc. is the collective, the masses, have put all their stock in what somebody else says instead of looking to find out for it myself or for yourself. And that's where I had my paradigm shift, because I actually went and pulled up the stuff they told me to pull up. Yeah, it requires an action. Yup, it requires a little due diligence, a little homework. but it gives you total clarity of mind because you can internalize the truth. And once you know the truth, any other crap they say is exactly what it is, crap. So I'm not going to give you my 2 cents. I see a lot of people out there on these blogs giving their 2 cents, and these people can't put 2 sentences together, let alone 2 thoughts, and it's scary. So if you're going to take your cues from, and I call them clowns at the circus, the busy-making behavior, the smoke and mirrors, all that's posted out there, if that's where you're getting your meat and potatoes information, then you are going to be in the deep end, and the alligators will be glad to take care of you and eat whatever on your plate, including you.
Can I jump in here for a sec, guys? Because I'm getting
Sure.
getting tired of typing answers here. I'm doing a bit of work in the chat room, so just want to clarify a couple of things. Something I went over on Tony's show today with regards to mortgages, and I need people to get this really, really, really clearly. Okay, one, your parents sold you. Get over it. All right. There is a thing called ignorance of the law. Your parents didn't know it. Now I know it doesn't sound fair, but all's fair in love and war. You need to get over the, I'm free and stuff. You're not until you fix your status, until you cut the Gordian knot. And you need to know that right now. Governments don't matter, laws don't matter, courts don't matter, churches don't matter. Until you get there, you're really trapped. So let me try to share something with you. Every house that is out there that people think that they're living in is actually abandoned, because if there is a death pledge on the place, mortgage, the mortgage was created through a bank, through a dead fiction. And you signed on behalf of a dead fiction, so you're actually not alive. And until you correct your status that you are a living being, every house that has a mortgage on it is, in fact, abandoned. And the living being had better go and make a claim on it. And you might be surprised at what that entails. And lovely Patrice has done some beautiful work and has uncovered a few things. And I know that she understands the relevance of it to the degree. I'm not sure yet, but I saw this as something very mind-blowing. But until you realize that you are in fact dead, until you re-ascertain, okay, to make it known that you are living, you're going to be assumed dead in their system. And it is assumption and presumption, because until you know that you're actually a merchant of law under the UCC, here's the bottom line, and I will ask anyone, the individual in the chat room, do you use any government ID? Do you use any cash? Do you use anything provided by the government that is owned by the government? Well, they don't own anything, but I'm just trying to be figurative here. If you do, then I'm sorry. Those are the traps, you see, because we trap ourselves by using their tools. Now, once you get the awakening, you can use their tools against them. That's one of the reasons why I get people to box the signatures on money, because now they're starting to understand that it is just debt. Okay, it's the intention we have to change. It's getting you back into the spiritual aspect versus the mundane. Okay, so I just wanted to cover that. And Peter, I think you can take it from there as far as what the Gordian knot is and what people are really needing to understand about, say, the 14th Amendment or any bullshit that the government's rectum minds put together. So take it from there, Peter.
Yeah, like I say, I've been, uncovering this stuff with the estate and all this stuff, and I really didn't get much clarity on it probably until about the last 8 to 12 months when I started digging in. That's why I've got posted stuff under a trust on the site, educational tools that will give you a lot more clarity of thought. But folks, yeah, they really have declared us all dead. I almost couldn't believe it. I said, what a crock of crap. That can't be true. I said, how can they do this? So I started digging in, because that's what I do. And I said, I need to either clarify and verify or deny. So I got to find me a proof. So I started digging in, and it started with the Sescu v. Trust Act of 1666. And it states right up there at the top that you're pretty much declared dead. And but the upside is under subsection 4 it said, however, should any man or woman be found alive, all rights, title, and hereditaments revest back to that man or woman. I said, well, that's a positive. How can I prove that I'm alive? So this was, because I know a lot of people have put forth documents saying, hey, I'm not the dead entity, blah, 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 whatever. Well, you are, until you cut the Gordian knot, and cutting the Gordian knot starts with the birth certificate bond, which I got a real pretty copy of mine about 7 months ago. I didn't even believe it when I saw it. It had the nice borders on it, on actual bond paper, had the red digits on it, and then it said American Bank Note Company. I says, well, now that's more than a smoking gun. That's a verifiable proof that they're actually exercising rights against this birth certificate bond as a security. And so, you know, over the years, though, I researched the securities laws, the Uniform Commercial Code, as well as other information like the negotiable instruments laws, and they consider everybody a banker because you're supposed to be the professional. You're supposed to know because you use these hypothecations and these monies are in their system, and so you're supposed to be the expert. However, they didn't teach this in grade school, folks. They don't teach it in high school, and they don't teach it in college. It took me to pull back the curtain on my own to find my own clarity, to find my own truth. You know, when I started digging in, I got a lot more clarity, and so I said, okay, there's got to be a smoking gun with some more information about this death stuff. I said, you know, it just didn't quite sit with me correctly, so I looked into it further, and I found somebody pulled something up on revocation of death in the state of New Jersey. Well, I said, well, if they've got it in the state of New Jersey, it's going to be in all 50 states. So I started digging into all the other states, and lo and behold, in every state it's got under revocation of death that if they consider if you've registered your property with them, it's considered abandoned property. So you gave it over to them because you're operating in that corporate capacity, that fiction, and we covered it, I think, pretty succinctly on a 14-page document called The Birth Certificate Securitization Scam, and it's extremely well put together, and it is on the site, on the privatist.me page as well. So, folks, I mean, these were all the tie-ins, so it gave me a lot more clarity to understand how this all came about, and I got proofs everywhere. Matter of fact, I have a document which I keep saying I'm going to pull up. I got to find it through my pile of other documents because I have thousands because I do research, where it specifically states that should you put your pen and ink, i.e. sin, signature on a document, you're considered a decedent. It even said it in their own code. I said, man, you just can't make this stuff up. And I found that out back in about 2007. So, you know, I was tying in these informations as I was going along. So, folks, this wasn't a 5-minute walk across the park for me, but the upside is I'm taking you to all the knowledge base so that you can get the clarity of mind that I have in short order because you don't have to go through the 25 years. Everybody can get on the same page. It's just an educational process. It's quick, simple, and easy, and I've made it such so that you don't have to go through all the stuff I went to tie in the bouncing ball. I can't explain it to you in 2 hours, but I can sure as hell give you the right direction so you can get clarity of mind when your starting points, go watch Changes on the Horizon Part 2. Then you need to watch Santos Bonacci's little beauty called The Vatican Owns Your Soul, and he shows you exactly what happens in court and how they switch hats and they steal your beneficial interest. I mean, there's beautiful, well put together, succinct information out there, folks, on every level, and that's why I put this site together. I said, you know what? We've got to have an eye-opener somewhere. So my brother Michael and I took it upon ourselves to actually put this site together because we knew the learning curve was steep, but we said it could be really reduced if we could put this stuff in like a one-stop shop. So this is what we've done. And we've done it because we love y'all enough, because when you find out the truth, then you get to stand in the truth, and you don't have to take this crap anymore. It's not about fighting. It's not about being a belligerent. You go in love and harmony, and you get to move forward, and you realize that you are a divine spirit. You are a man having a human experience or a woman having a human experience, and this is all really, really good. This is where they not want you to be. They don't want you thinking outside the box. They want us all dumbed down to effectively create a division between each other, and just like the young lady who was on earlier, oh, yeah, you're from, up New Jersey way. Well, see, gee, that creates a chasm to me. I mean, I know it wasn't intended that way, but this is how they start. This is the propaganda machine. It runs far, wide, and deep to create a separation for black, white, Latino, Chinese, whatever. Any way we can create a division to keep you to be coming together in a community of one is a beautiful thing to them because Peter, they keep us separated.
Yeah, Peter, and really the simplest way to put it to people is it's in our innocence that we do this
without any malintent. However, the intent was already placed there in a malfeasant way. In speaking of division, and I'm talking anything, something as simple as, I'm from Ireland. I'm from where I arrived here was an island in the North Atlantic. They call it Ireland. That's it's irrelevant. The fact is, I'm here on Gaia. I'm on Earth. I'm having a human experience. I'm here to be a human being, not a human beast. And this is what they've actually got us trained into doing in our innocence, in our gullibility. One of my favorite jokes is, did you know that the word gullible isn't in the dictionary? And people say, really? And I say, yeah, look it up. But I mean, that's the innocence. I mean, that's why these jokes work, because they're true. And it's in our own innocence, in our own, just everyday speak. They've got us so well conditioned. And that's why I'm always very careful when I'm listening to people and when I'm talking to people. Everything I say is coming out with the positive intent of what the word was meant to be directed as the intention, not the malfeasant spell, because we busted that when we decoded it right down to the flower of life. Sorry, you can't copyright creation. That belongs to all. Get over it. Anyway, so and really what Peter's talking about is so critically important for you to get. And the only way you are not going to learn is if you fight with your ego to hold on to the old paradigms. You're going to have to sit down and come to terms with it, as we've all done. You have to come to terms with the fact that you've been duped beyond recognition. You have been duped into a system that you think somehow matters, and it does not. We have been driven so far away from what is really, truthfully, what we and who we are, what we truly are. And I'm going to share that little story that Santos had the other night. I thought it was a perfect example of it. A typical cricket can jump, 10 to 15 centimeters in the air, and that's what it does. You see them out, outside and whatever. You take one of those crickets and you put it in a jar for a few days, put some, holes in the lid so it doesn't suffocate. But, the jar might only be 3 or 4 inches tall. And that cricket can only jump so high, and then after a day or two of that, you let the cricket go, and it will forever jump 3 or 4 centimeters from that on, because it has been conditioned and trained by a lid, by a cap, by something that was put on top of it, so that it could never jump any higher. Well, what we're doing with Outside the Box and with a blueprint or cosmic blueprints like tonight is we're unscrewing that lid. We're taking that lid off, and we're going to dare you to actually be you. And that's going to be a scary proposition for everyone that's listening. Well, for most anyway. And it's not a very, very easy thing. I know I spent a lifetime just trying to be me. Now I'm me, and I'm having a great time. This is fun. I'm actually dancing my dance, doing what I'm supposed to do. And somewhere inside of you, somewhere screaming inside of you is a purpose that you should be doing something other than what you're doing. And if you are doing that which you love to do, then you are on purpose. You are doing what you came here to do. And that's all I'm asking people to do, is put it, beat the guns into plowshares. Okay, decide to be your purpose. A great place to start, and the best place and only place that I would start is with your zodiac. Understand what your sign is. Understand what it means to be that, because that's the angle of light that you're here. We are of the earth. This is our mother, and we give her life in as much as she gives us life. It's a balance here, and we have thrown it out of balance by raping her, drilling her with vaccines, pulling oil out of her. We're taking blood samples to a degree that is hindering Gaia's ability to grow. We're stealing that from her, and we're also using that and poisoning her air. We're digging up the uranium that should be left underground where it belongs. And by the way, any radioactive material, you can change it into inert just by putting attention on it. So if we can focus our attention on Fukushima to annihilate the radiation there, it will happen. Hutchinson, he's done some beautiful work in this field. Just an amazing man who has done some amazing things with technologies, and he's got the answers that can help to nullify that. We have Kesh now. Santos was doing an interview the other night with him over in Italy. Well, he was on the air with Kesh and an Italian group that are hell-bent for taking the Vatican down. People, the world is changing, okay? But what we're asking you to do is just do your little part. We're not asking you to run into the streets and pretend to be a hero and leader. That's just foolishness. We all have our roles to play, and it's as simple as boxing a signature. It's as simple as saying no. And as Patrice puts it so eloquently, so beautifully, have your Rosa Parks moment. Get on the bus and decide you're going to sit wherever the hell you damn well please, regardless of your color, religion, sex, creed, or whatever. Just be you. dance your dance. Robert Morning Sky said it so beautifully when he said that. Just dance your dance, and if you do that, you'll be fine. I promise. The universe said so. Back to you.
Yep. Well, everybody likes to create a division. Everybody, this is. I want to stay on this for a second. Because just in simple statements we make every day, how we operate in our paradigm, in our mind, out in public, we're creating these separations of us. Folks, we're supposed to be coming together, not be separating. This is why this effective brainwashing has been so effective, is because they create a way to separate us for being different. Yeah, well, I know I'm sure as hell different. And I love it. You know what? Because guess what? I get to be me. And, for those that may not like me or whatever, it really doesn't affect me, because I know who I am. And it comes down to getting with your soul, getting right with your heart, and just being the best you can be. Share the love. I had to go to the doctor today, and I got to share some love today. It was beautiful. Cute little blonde. She's going to be pulling a couple of teeth out of my face next week after I get this infection cleared up a little bit. And I actually was able to integrate a beautiful conversation with her about the vaccines, and she knew that there was something wrong, but she couldn't quite put her finger on it. And this is a physician who works in the system. And I says, are you aware of the thimerosal and mercury? And she goes, not really. And I says, well, I'll print you some documents, and I'll bring them to you when I come back for my appointment. And I did tell her she's going to pull my teeth out. Be gentle, because I'm real sensitive. Yeah, that's going over like a fart in church, right? Anyways, but folks, I was able to, I went in there with my love hat on. It was beautiful. And these people, they never seen anybody like me before. I'm bubbly. I'm in a good frame of mind, psychologically on the page, and I'm sharing information with them, but not in anger or a bad bent. And they were getting it, and they were saying, and I knew that the two ladies, the doctor and her helper. And I says, by the way, after I leave here, please feel free to talk about me behind my back, because I know you're gonna. And they just laughed their butts off, because you know why? I'm different. I'm not poured out of the mold. I'm no longer. I don't fit in the round hole. I'm the square peg. But you know what? It's beautiful to be yourself. And when people get you, they really get you, and they know there's something different about you. They sense it. They feel it, and because you bring that positive energy. That's where we're supposed to all be at, folks. We're supposed to be lifting each other up, not tearing each other down. This is what the world wants, is to keep the separation, the chasm between us, keep a division, keep the arguing, keeping the warring. Well, folks, I'm past all that crap. I'm done with that. But, I do get excited, and I do get a little, maybe a little testy sometimes when I'm bringing forth information. It's because I care enough to get testy about it, because emotionally, on the level, I love my brothers and sisters enough to bring this stuff forward so they can get what I'm getting, so they can have their paradigm shift, so they can have their change, because that's the beauty of all this. We all come together as a collective. The people that are coming through my door now, that I could have never realized in my entire life until this point that I come to at this point, because I got the most beautiful spirits, the most kindred hearts who really get what I'm saying, and I get what they're saying. And it's creating this beautiful emotional tie-in of love, not hate, not division, not being upset. I'm throwing that yoke off, folks, and you can too. And that's what we all need to do, and that's the whole point of this show, of Think Outside the Box, because we come together as a collective, as one. They want division. I don't want division. I want commonality with my brothers and sisters, so I can share my heart, be the real me, and we all accept ourselves and each other for our differences, because my goal isn't to change anybody. My goal is to get us all to share the same common vision of love, harmony, and peace. And that's what it really comes down to, folks. Love, harmony, and peace. I can't invent this. I'm throwing my love out to the world, to the universe, and it's coming back tenfold in ways I never thought possible. It's because I'm getting my heart right and I'm getting my mind right, because I'm looking at it from a different set of glasses, and they're not rose-colored anymore, because I'm not allowing the separation of my brothers and sisters. I'm trying to create the common bond so that we can all move forward together. And when we don't separate from each other and we find something good about your brother or sister, don't find, we can always find something bad about people. Everybody's always casting stones of dispersion, I say. You know what? None of us were born perfect. We're all divine spirits having a human experience. And if you're having a human experience, guess what? You got faux pas. You got issues. But you know what? That's where we all work together and collectively work through those issues and throw the yoke off. And that's what it's all about, is a community of, becoming binded up in a positive way and not creating the separation.
Yeah, Peter, when you first started talking, that one little segment was finished there, when you said about going into the dentist's office and being all bubbly and they're not used to that is the living example of what I speak of when I tell people, just be the light. The moths will gather. They will see you, and they will want what it is that you have, because truth is that beautiful effervescence that comes out. And I do urge people, if they get a chance, excuse me, to listen to last night's show I did with Sun. I'm making the link available. It's been in the chat rooms. I'll make that link available on my Facebook and blog, of course. But I do implore people to listen. Sun said it clearly, and I've used the example too. That was kind of, that's a coincidence. With this division that they create, what they're effectively doing is assimilating us into their way of thinking of division, and in doing so, creating literally a Borg collective, which is a mass consciousness, not a collective consciousness. There's a big difference, because we are all individual sparks of life. We have all got our individual divinity. Okay, that's the in divine duality. We are all individual. We are all electromagnetic, male, female. We have all got that energy. And that's there's one of the biggest divisions right there, that the division of within. And when you find that beautiful center space, when you understand both aspects of the electromagnet that you are, because electricity creates magnets, and as much as magnets creates electricity, they're both the same and completely opposite. So what Peter has so eloquently put across is stop seeing the divisions, because in a division you will see judgment, and in a judgment you're not helping anyone. And that is exactly what the assimilation is. It's about judging others, where you go, oh, look at so-and-so. Instead of being the helpful individual, you stand there and you divide yourself away from them by judging them. Anytime I see something silly happening, I think, oh, well, that's because I look at as everyone as being another perspective of me, as I am another perspective of them. And I'm some of the things I do, I just shake my head and I think, I have to fix that. So I take it upon myself. And again, if you play the neutral observer and do your due diligence, and there's nothing wrong with innocence. I need people to get that, but don't let your innocence be assimilated. And that's exactly what's happened. Our most beautiful love and energy has been assimilated. And, sorry guys, we bought it. Now we're giving it back. Okay, and I don't want a refund. Okay, I'm just giving it back. I don't want any connection to this crap whatsoever. And yeah, Peter, myself, Tony, Deatra, Patrice, Santos, the list goes on and on and on. Sun and everybody that is doing their bit. Whether it be a large part or a small part, it doesn't matter. It's still one puzzle. Every piece matters. You matter, and we need you to get your piece and bring it to the table so we can finish this bloody picture. It's gorgeous. I can see. I'm at the box. Let's put the pictures, puzzle pieces together. We'll get it right. Don't worry. We've already won this game. You need to know that. We've already won. There is no loss here, and hell or high water, doesn't matter. We are moving into a new age, and nothing is going to stop that. Nothing.
Right. And it says, as you said quite eloquently there, it says, be as a child, basically, and that's to question and wonder why, and when you start questioning it all, that's when it all starts appearing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I love these little quiet moments, because these are the moments we get a chance to go, yeah. And we get a chance to go within and feel the words, or the intent of the words. And I do have to stress this so much to people. You have to step back from the physical and understand that everything that you do comes with a thought first. It is the intent. That was the initial trap. It was the intent, and what they've done is they've conditioned us to move away from our pure innocence of that childlike intent of, just going out. You put a group of children together that haven't been conditioned long by their parents or by nasty things around them, and children will get along just fine. They will. They'll play together. Doesn't matter what color they are, what religion. Doesn't all that's all bullshit. You close your eyes, close your ears, and close your mouth, and tell me how much prejudice you have. You've got to turn off the physical illusion and turn on the spirit, and that's all I'm asking you to do. And when you turn the spirit on, that faucet is endless. Just pour it forth. Be the change you want to see, and it starts with you. It starts with your intent. It starts with your thought. That what you think you are. Sorry to tell you that. So be careful what you wish for. And if you're going to make a wish, you better be very, very specific. Okay? So that one's a critical one. And that you put the true intent on is that which you will manna feast. That's manna is food of the gods, which is a spirit mind. All right? You will manna feast it. So have happy thoughts, hey? Just saying. Anyway, there you go. Take it over, guys. I've talked enough for a bit.
Yeah, there's just a few other sayings there that spring into mind, like come out of her. In other words, the system, lest you suffer in her sins. There's another one.
Yep.
And there's a few others, but I can't quite think of them off the top of my head at the moment. But yeah, there's a lot of truth in that book, isn't there? When you're looking at it correctly.
Yep.
Yeah, when you take the blinders off, absolutely, it's a book full of pure truth, but you got to learn how to see it. And I'm still waiting for Bill Donnie to get back to me. I want to get him on with Santos Bonacci one night, and it's going to be a night to remember. And by the way, I am going to be doing a show tomorrow night. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to call it, but it's going to be along the lines of the Rainbow Warriors to bring the other kindred to the table en masse, and beings like me, the freaks of nature, the ones that have walked the middle road in a rather different way. Try to gather those into the family and the fold here, because we're all making the difference together, each and every one of us, regardless of where we came onto this planet. We are all on this planet. This is our home. It's the only one we got right now. So isn't it funny that we're beating the crap out of her? May I suggest we stop? Hey,
Yeah.
Tony, why don't you share some stuff regards to the Kesha Foundation and some of the things that have already been manifest and that are already in place right now?
Yeah, sure. The Keshe Foundation, Miahan Keshe went public quite a while ago, a few years ago now, with using basically plasma physics. He was taking various ingredients, putting them into bottles and drawing off the plasma. He's now taken it to a point where he can download carbon dioxide molecules, basically, straight out of the atmosphere, out of what we term as an ether. In other words, out of what seems to be nothing. And he's developed systems now which are using plasma physics to generate massive amounts of energy. The energy can be used in various ways, such as force fields, such as, what do they call them, tractor beams, and also what is termed generally as anti-gravity, or could be described as another atmosphere around the actual the generation unit itself. The unit's made out of plastic, and recently he's gone public and sent a letter to Obama, as well as many other leaders of countries, and he said, look, we've got this technology now. We don't need the oil, we don't need all of this negative stuff, we don't need to be trapped in this paradigm anymore. Please allow us to share this technology with the world. The Iranian government have taken it up, so he says, and they managed to use it to bring down this spy drone that America went nuts about earlier on this year. But that's just in a nutshell, what's happening with with Mir Hankesh, but it's not just Mir Hankesh. There's stuff called Rodin physics, which is Marco Rodin, and I happen to know that he's getting together a project. In fact, it was on Red Ice a couple of days ago with Peter somebody, I can't remember his name, but I think he's number 2 on Red Ice right now. And he's working with Ralph Ring, and Ralph Ring used to work with Otis T. Carr, and they were producing levitating craft in the 1950s. Again, all of this stuff sounds wacko and crazy unless you've actually looked. But the point of the matter is you need to look, because when you've looked, then you get it. And when you get it, then it changes everything. So again, I know we mainly have been focusing on law, the battles, the constructs, the natural law, but there's just so much more to this stuff. Medicine, we've got incredible medicines, energy medicine. We talk about energy medicine in the book. It's fantastic. I mean, you've got loads of free radicals going through your body, stealing, basically electrons off the cells within your body, and you treat yourself with energy medicine, and you can replace all these free radicals and replace the electrons on the cells, which doesn't throw them out of balance. It throws them back into sync. So you harmonise your body's cellular structure again. Massive boosts to the immune system, and I mean massive. But, it's incredible what the stuff can do. There's just so much going on out there, boys and girls, right now. But the question is, are you aware of it, or are you blinkered? Are you looking at one little bit and not looking at the rest of it? It's crazy. I mean, Project Camelot is something else I mentioned earlier. They just released if you go to the Project Camelot site, you'll see a TV show that's just aired. Now, it's taken them nearly a year to get this on air, but it talks about teleportation. It talks about faster than light travel. It talks about time travel. It talks about all sorts of things that most people would just totally brush off. But the fact of the matter is, what you've got to realise is, number one, we're in a harmonic universe. In other words, all the physics models that you said that you were taught in school are all wrong. And if we're in a harmonic universe, that means that on an atomic level, everything is as above, so below. Again, you can look at the solar system, and you've got everything sort of like rotating around the sun. And you look at, a molecular level, and you look at an atom, and you've got the neutrons, electrons, positrons rotating around the nucleus. You look at a subatomic level, you've got electrons, you've got the subatomic particles traveling around that. So it's the same as above, so below. And in that particular model, it changes all the physics. The physics you've been told about nuclear war and how nuclear bombs can go off all over the place, it's complete and utter rubbish. They know that, but you're still buying it. So they're still telling you, oh yeah, it's so-and-so, they're going to throw these nukes about and all this, that, and the other. Rubbish. It's called globalization. Again, look up globalization. There's a brilliant documentary on topdocumentaryfilms.com, all about the towers and globalization. It's incredible. But again, as Peter was saying earlier, he's just done the 25 years research, and he's had to go through all of this mud up to his ears, climbing over rocks, on all fours through all of the forests, fighting off the beasts on the way through to get to the truth. And then, because he's done that, he's made a note of all of that, so you don't have to do it. Well, that's exactly the same as what I've done with all these different topics, from Kesh, Tesla, Hitler, you name it, wherever you want to go, from the royals to the politics to the parliaments it goes all the way from the medicines, the technologies, the hidden information, the off-world planets, all this sort of stuff. Again, it's in Blueprints of Cosmic Consciousness, which is a book that I wrote, and it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all laid out so you don't have to do the 25 years on your hands and knees getting to the truth and fighting your way through. It's put there simply so you can understand it and you can get it. And that covers, good things, negative things, but you need to see it with your own eyes to understand it. But when you can understand it, then you can put it together. When you can put it together, got it. And the next question is, right, now how do I get out of it? And that's where Peter comes in, this is where Kate comes in, this is where Santos comes in. All of this sort of stuff can start to open out now. But that's the point, is getting the long haul under your belt first. There's loads of questions. Oh, I don't know about this, I don't know about that, I don't know about the other. Yeah, because you haven't had to do the hard slog. But there's an easy way. As Peter says, go and look at Peter's blog. And as Kate says, go and look at her blog. As Santos says, go and look at Universal Truth School, his blog. And the same, mine, awakeconsciousawareness.com. And download a copy of it. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. It's going to take you a good few hours to do the research, mind. But, I mean, if you just skim through the book, you get the overall idea. Anything you don't believe or you don't understand or you can't quite get your head round, the button's there. Just click on the button. It'll take you to the lecture and give you the information that you need to know to get it. It's really good. It's there for you, and we've done the hard work. Okay,
yeah,
my round.
And
Peter?
And everybody, like I say, this is a big sandwich to eat. Folks. Well, it's sort of like how do you eat an elephant? One scoop at a time. You got to start somewhere. But like I say, I try and keep it as simple as possible because, like I said, I want to busy you with the mundane. So, you got to start at the beginning. But it's a beautiful little travel. And like I say, you don't have to read everything I have. I mean, I've got 1,000-page books I've read, like The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America, which I've posted on a couple of sites. And one person complained about 1,000 pages. I said, yeah, but it'll blow your ever-loving mind because it will tie in all the bouncing balls and the loose dots, and it brings everything and puts it in a pretty little bow, and it gives you effective clarity to know how to operate and see within your world what the real truth is. Folks, I never thought I'd read so much my entire life. I've read so much crap, and my head is full with so much stuff. If somebody broke my head open, it'd flood the floor because I got that much information, and I sort of chuckled to myself because it is a lot of information. But you know what? Hey, your brain it can handle it. It's not complex. That's how I got my clarity, was tying all these loose ends. I started following the money and doing this and doing that and learning about the banking system. But you don't have to learn it in 5 minutes, folks. But you really need to find your starting point, and that's the whole point of the exercise of me putting Privatist.me together. Was I said, hey, it's my baby. I'm going to put my baby together for everybody else to get my baby, because this is what gave me clarity. And I said, if it can give me clarity, it can give everybody else clarity. So there was a purpose, method to the madness, for lack of a better term. I said, I got to, how can I make this easier for everybody to get the memo? And I use that vernacular all the time. And the reason I use that, and I'll share for those that don't know, is when we're in the military, the colonel always puts out his freaking memos. I used to hate the damn memos. And I know a lot of people hate my memos. But, until you get the memo, you're not getting the picture. And that was the point of the memo, so everybody could be on the same page when the colonel passed on informations. So that's why I use that vernacular all the time, and it probably gets old. But I'm trying to give you a point of direction. And, folks, it starts at the beginning, and everybody can get this. I'm telling you, everybody can get it. This is not Pythagoras' theorem. They would like you to believe that you can't learn or expand your mind or get it. Hell, I was expanding my mind back in the 70s. It was just on a different level. Anyways, I'm past all that. Now I dig into informations, and, I love it because it gives me clarity of thought, and it lets me know where I stand and how I move forward to the next level. So, it's a beautiful thing, and it creates a community bond. It doesn't create separatism, and we're not about that. We're all, trying to bring it all together for everybody for clarity of thought so that they can move forward. This is what they never expected to happen in our world, folks. That's why they hacked the crap out of this site when Kate's on and talking about issues of the day, because they're really scared itless because we're peeling back the curtain, and it is the land of Oz, folks. Just about everything you've been told, from the medical side of the fence to the wars, the history, and the books and whatever, the majority of it's been lies, straight up lies, and then some more lies. So, you know what? I got sick and tired of the lies and started looking for the truth. And when I started looking for the truth, it came at me fast, furious, and in succession. And now I'm on a different level. I'm just, this is where you get your clarity of thought. But you got to be willing to, folks, I do this for my children because I don't want them inheriting this crap. And so, that's a sense higher than oneself. So when you can get out of yourself this meism, the narcissism that they create amongst us, and the new clothes and newfangled boots and whatever, folks, that's more separatism. We are all created equal. We all put our pants on the same exact way. I had a paradigm shift at the ripe old age of 13 when I was in Catholicism, and they were pushing the swill in my brain, and I was saying something just doesn't fit. And I said, I know something doesn't fit, and they were trying to separate us. They separated us very well in Catholicism, and it's all about rules and dictates. It's not about love. They would bring up love every now and then, but you know what? Their hearts weren't there. And the irony was, they told me that in order to get absolution, or in order to get, in good standing with God, so to speak, this was a lie they were telling me, that I got to go through this guy called a middleman, called a priest, and go to him to get absolution. I said, that doesn't fit. Who died and left this clown at the circus? God. And that's the thought I had. And I went to the Sister Catherine, and I told her, I said, because she was mad at me because I hadn't been showing up to the classes to get confirmation. And I said, well, I'll tell you what. I told her, I said, I just need you to answer a couple quick questions, and this will allow me to know whether I'm going on or not going on. And so I asked her straight up, I says, does that man in that booth over there, that goofy booth over there that I got to go get absolution, and I says, does he not put his pants on the same way I do each day? And she said, she had to say yes, of course. And I says, well, then we have a little conundrum here. We have an impasse. Because how is it that I have to go through him in order to get right with this thing you call God, and take my marching orders from him, and that I don't get direct to God or what is God without going through him as a man? And since he puts his pants on the same way as I do, I says, well, I'm not really subscribing to that ideology. I don't need a middleman. And she was so pissed off at me, folks, that I got excommunicated right on the spot. So there you go. See, you ask the poignant questions, and you just get the anger. Because you know why? Because they don't have any logical thought progression in their brains whatsoever, and they've been also brainwashed themselves. So this is what's called thinking outside the box. This is what this whole show is about, folks. You got to really, move beyond instead of what other people tell you. Don't listen to a damn thing I say. Go prove it for yourself, and I'll shut up. And that's where I come from. That's where I live. I'm not going to, like I say, my objective isn't to change your mind. My objective is to get your mind right and show you how to get your mind right. And we all share the same commonality of getting our minds right. We just need a little direction of flow, a little continuity of thought, and this is where it all comes from. It comes from within, not from without. Anyways,
absolutely. Well said, Peter. One thing I want to elaborate on that is what's actually been happening. We've been lied to. We've said this, okay, but the point is we're not descendants of our parents. We are the ascendants of our parents. And therefore, the more crap they've been throwing at our parents, our grandparents, and our great-grandparents before us, their DNA has been evolving better and better and better. So we are the sort of like the later crop of the best, the ones that survive longest in that DNA chain, and therefore our DNA is the best that the DNA for the human race has been yet, even though they've been trying to dumb us down with all this stuff. We're evolving faster than they can dumb us down. So that's why we're the ones to get it.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting journey, folks. I've been on this planet for 52 years, and it's taken a little while to sort of get on the page. But hey, welcome to my world, and welcome to the ride, folks. It's been great.
Hell of a ride, huh?
I like the free ride with no buckles or constraints. Even in the military, I did my 10 years in. I never fit in that box, and I've shared this before. I've always been the square peg in the round hole because my brain couldn't be forced into a compliance mode psychologically to actually buy off on ideologies that were false to my heart. See, folks, your heart is a real good measure of who you are as a man or a woman, and if you listen to that heart, it will tell you what fits and what doesn't. this is, if you start with a heart, it will give you your cues, and because the truth, it stands within. It comes from within, and you start figuring it out. So, I did 10 years in the military. I used to drive my chiefs crazy and the colonel every now and then because, I was like the inquiring minds want to know type guy, and my colonel I'd make him nuts. He goes, Doc, you ask a lot of questions. He goes, but most of the stuff I can't give you answers to because they've created them into being inside the box, especially in the military. So it was amazing that I ever went in and did 10 years in. I mean, talk about like it was really a square peg in a round hole. But you know what? I went through that, and there's always a reason. But met a lot of good people along the way, and so just because I went in the military, I've never been a warmonger. I'm about the peace and the love, But I learned a lot. I learned structure, and I learned how to get my mind to fit in different ways and make it work more efficiently for me. So the military does have some positives and some upsides. What was applicable to me in my heart and my mind, I used. What didn't apply, I threw it out. So and that's what thinking does for you. That's what they don't want us doing. So when you're convicted of heart, then you can move forward on different levels. So it's been a very, very interesting journey on multiple levels. And we all get to move through it together, and we all get to share this together. So the effective dumbing down doesn't have to stick, folks. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. After 52 years, I never fit in the box, and that's been a good thing. So this is what's allowed me to move forward, and guess what? Now you're all on this show, and it's a good thing because now you're getting clarity of thought. If you weren't trying to get clarity of thought, you wouldn't be here in the first place, and so that's the first positive step to making a transition change.
Absolutely. Well said, mate. Well said. It's absolutely the same with me as well. I mean, I didn't start waking up till sort of like, sort of like late 20s and stuff like that. It was like, what the bloody hell's happening? And then started digging into it, and then it all got really wild because the deeper I dug, the wilder it got. But no, I didn't believe it at first myself either.
The truth, folks, is a hard pill to swallow. It's like taking some real bad medicine because it doesn't taste good, and it sort of kills you where you live. But you can either accept it or you can go into cognitive dissonance mode and shut your brain down. But the truth still stands as the truth. Whether you want to deal with it, whether you want to accept it, whether you want to internalize it, it still stands as the truth. It can never be anything but the truth, and that's the beauty of the truth. So that's when we get our collective minds right and we start seeing where the change and the shift will come. So, I mean, I'm seeing some amazing things, folks, over the last, literally the last 90 days. My heart, my mind, and my soul has been convicted on a whole different level. You can't make this stuff up. Like I say, I was a hard-charging type guy. God does have a sense of humor. He gave me 2 girls, because if he gave me 2 boys, I'd have had them doing push-ups till their butt fell off, because I was hardcore. I was extremely physical, in very, very good shape. I ran marathons. I pounded the iron pile. I could lift double my body weight. I was really big on the physical. But I was also big on the mental as well, and I tried honing those skills more collectively. I mean, most people, they look at muscleheads and they think they're all non-intelligent. I was the smartest musclehead you probably come across because I could actually think. Matter of fact, in order to create muscle mass, you had to know how to think because you had to know how to stretch the tissues and make them work. And I actually read multiple tomes of volumes of information so that I could get my mind right and learn how to expand my mass. And that takes an educated man to do that. How to feed the machine correctly, nutritional substances, that type of stuff. So, every transition in my stage, in my life, everything I've done, it took learning, it took educating, it took reading, but that's where you get that clarity and you get broad, now you have a knowledge base, you have a focus, and you have understanding. And it just takes the will to want to do it. And move forward on that level. It's a want. Nobody has forced me to do any of this stuff. I've always pushed myself. I've been a real good motivator for myself. So self-motivation really does start with self, folks, and that's the beauty. So we can stand fast or we can move forward, but you got to be doing something. And so might as well, come on in. The water's fine. And get on this ride, because this ride called life is it's a great thing when you can change what's in between the ears. That's where you get your power, folks.
And that's what it's all about. It's about changing the way that men's minds work and understanding it all. So, the truth is the one that will set you free, but there's only you that can actually apply yourself to learning it. But wonderful stuff. Are you still there with us, Kate?
Oh, yeah, I'm just sitting back enjoying what you guys are talking about. It's a beautiful vibe, beautiful energy. I'm keeping on top of the chat room and keeping on top of posting things around the world. Again, I'm going to bring up my ideas for tomorrow night. I'm still not quite sure. I'll definitely have something for Rory so we can get a poster put together. But tomorrow night, I'm going to reach out to the rainbow community, the LGBT community. That's kind of where I'm at right now, just getting word out with the Delta 9 Vibe Syncretism show last night. I do have the link. I'm making it available to Facebook right now, because that's where it is going up fastest for me. Then I will be adding it to my email and, of course, adding it into the Skype rooms as well, for those that didn't get a chance to listen to it last night. And definitely this is another show tonight. That's the joy of doing shows with you guys, is that every one of these shows is a must-listen, because there are gems of truth in every one of them. And that's why it's so very difficult to stay on one thing. And we do. We cover the same sort of things from multiple perspectives. But that is the joy of that's why I'm just kind of sitting back tonight going, yeah, look at them go. It's beautiful. So carry on, gentlemen. You're doing an awesome job. But I'll let everyone know as far as tomorrow night, same time, 7 to 9. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet, but it will definitely be honing in on one community that really needs to come forth as well. I mean, they already have. But they've got a very, very important role to play in this game, because they're the ones that are actually dancing their dance, and to hell with everything. And that's exactly what we need to be doing. That's the example that is being set. That, you know what, I'm going to live my life the way I want to live it, because this is my spark of life, and no one can tell me how to be and who to be and what to be. And that is exactly why over the ages, and even now, you go down to the Bible Belt, and they'll want to be stringing people up that are gay, lesbian, trans, doesn't matter. And unfortunately, they didn't understand how to read their own book, the Bible, fools. And they forget the Bible was actually the book that they're screaming from. Was the net result of very diligent, very hard work over many years by none other than King James, as homosexual as they come. Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, both gay. And they're the paintings they worship and the statues they worship. So I mean, it's so much hypocrisy. But once you understand that all you have to do is dance your dance, and how you dance is how you dance, and who you meet up with doesn't matter. Whatever gender, whatever color, whatever, it doesn't matter. Love is blind. Love is love for the sake of what love is. And it is that beautiful resonating frequency that you get when you're with another aspect of yourself, which is the creation of all. And when you get into that beautiful harmony, nothing else really matters, because you've found love, and love was looking for you all along. And look at how hard we try to pin it down into something or another, and it's really, love is everything. So, try to dance it.
That's a beautiful thing, Kate. You can't force love. Love comes through by the free expression of who you really are. And like I say, this last 90 days, I cannot believe these beautiful kindred souls that are coming through my door. And I mean, it's like I wish I could bottle this up and sell it. I mean, that's how beautiful this is. I told myself this past couple of weeks I was going to throw some love out and see if it came back, and I took the action, and it's coming back tenfold. Folks, you can't make this up. And it really, when your heart is right and you really get it right, it's like I say, I'm the, instead of being the bear on the porch, I want to be the guy with the feather duster and making and bringing the love. It's all good, and it's so when I integrate now with people, I do so on purpose because I want to share just a little piece of me and maybe put a little spark, maybe a little pep in their step, put a little love in their heart for that day, and they remember me. And it's not because I'm doing anything extraordinary, but I guess it would be considered extraordinary because I'm going out of my way to live life on purpose and be the best me I can and bring a little bit more love to this world that has been so devoid. And the anger, the hate, the poisonous hearts are there. They're out there aplenty. And I don't have to be on that page. I don't have to live that way. I get to be who I'm really supposed to be. And if I stand in love, nothing else can encumber me. And that's the beauty of love. So these people who have come across my doorstep over the last 90 days, I couldn't find a soul to talk to for the 25 years of my research for the most part. I mean, most of the people thought I lost my ever-loving mind, especially my family members. And, now it doesn't matter. When you can't preach in your own backyard because it's just Peter. You know what? Well, I got a big backyard now. It's called the whole world, and I got my own soapbox. And this is not about being grandiose or egotistical because I'm sharing the love. I'm sharing the truth. And you know what, folks? This is what's going to bind us up. This is what's going to bring us forward. So if we all can move forward and just spark a little bit of love each and every day and really make a concerted effort, it does change things, and it does come back. It's, it's where you live. It's where I live now. I have emotions that I never thought possible, and
I'm already there.
Yeah.
You don't have to say another word, Peter. I'm already there. I've been there for the last 5 minutes. So this is what we're talking about, guys. This is, some days you're going to hear us go off on these beautiful tangents. They're not quite so beautiful to many, and that's what they are. They're pleas of passion. These are, and I won't call them desperate. They are the envisioned passions of those of us that can see you and how stunningly beautiful you really are. And we'll do everything in our power to shred that ego program off you, because all it is smeared shite. And your canvas has been poisoned. It has been covered in garbage. You have been buried for so long in illusions, delusions, not coming to the full potential of who and what it is you are. And we, Peter, myself, Tony, all of us, we will stop at nothing to tear that off you, because that's what love is. We want to see you because we know you're beautiful. We just want you to see it. And some days it's harder than others, and yeah, you know what? We go through our ups and downs too. And I will say that we do carry an inordinate amount of the burden to get the word out, and it's a burden I will carry freely. I will give it every breath I've got, every breath of life, of spirit that I have to get that job done. I will stand to post. I shall not yield, and none shall pass. That's the way I live. I chose to stand in truth. It is the most beautiful place to be, and I will tell you, it has been one of the hardest places. But when you reach inside, and when you can finally feel that piece of you inside that knows everything that I'm saying is pure truth to you, and it will resonate with you, because that's what truth does. It wakens the fire from within. And when you can finally get to the point where you look around you and you go, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to rape my mother anymore. I am not going to destroy. I am not going to hate. I am not going to be jealous. I am not going to create division within myself and thus those around me. I am going to be the patient soul. I'm going to be the one that can forgive. And I'm going to be the one to educate those that are harming others, to the degree that if that's what they wish for, then we will give to them what they wish for. And it's not our choice. That's not what I have a very easy way of looking at life. For me is I look at it simply this way. Is that something I would do, or is that something I would not do? And those are the only choices I have to make. And it's really, really very easy. And the only thing that I have to listen to is the truest essence of me, and that's the center of me, which is the Anu, the heart, my spark of life. And there is nothing that will ever put that out. I am infinite, and I know that now, and so does the system. And the system is in dire terror of people and beings like me. And all we're doing is trying to get you into that place where they're afraid of you too, because that's all they have is fear. So let them have it. Let them have their fear. I'm done with it. They can't kill the infinite. I'm sorry. This game for them is over, and they know it. And what you're seeing now, when you're seeing 10-year-old boys, like I saw a picture today of a 10-year-old boy with handcuffs on, like he's some uber threat. And I can only imagine how these guys would feel if it was their children in that role, what they would be saying. But again, they're of the privileged, you know, they're of the thin blue line that they feel protected. But I have to assure them that their days are very, very numbered. And there are not many left, because the people are standing. We are awakening in the billions. We've moved beyond millions. This planet is awakening, and it you know, it has no choice. And I do see the majority finally coming to terms with it, because they can't help it. We are the dominant frequency now. Love is that which conquers all. We are the dominant frequency, and science says it very clearly that the dominant frequency in a room will bring all other frequencies up to match it. And this is why they have done such incredible things to keep us down in that fear illusion, to keep us in hate, fear, and anger, and greed, and lust, and all of these monstrous things that are nothing to do with us. Nothing to do with us. That was our innocence that was destroyed by even coming within earshot and eyesight of this stuff. We're moving on. So the boat's already pulled away, and it's rolling faster and faster. The deck chairs, I can see them falling off the dock from here. And there are people now finally jumping in the water to catch up. And they're all welcome. Everyone's welcome. And this boat's going to get faster and faster. So I would suggest that for those that wish to ride it, that they get on board now, because pretty soon there won't be a boat to catch. So, anyway, my rant done. It's Friday night.
Good. This has been a really a very good night for me. As far as I'm not operating at my high octave. I actually was able to bring it down to get where my mind and my heart needed to be tonight. And I like having these sensitive side moments, because this, you folks, you can't fake the truth. It really is. It sticks, and it works. And it's right, and it just allows you to move to the next level of what you were totally supposed to be. These are the emotions that they teach us how not to have. And emotions are just emotions, and that's correct. But when you can get down in your heart and really look at things for what they're, and put them in proper perspective, wow, it's like I call it a braingasm, for lack of a better term, because all the synapses goes off in my brain, the pleasure centers. Yeah, okay, well, I'm using a sexual analogy, but it has nothing to do with sex, folks. It has to do with the synapses in your brain going off and getting right with yourself on a whole different level, where things totally make sense, and you get these happy endorphins in your body. And I used to be a runner. I used to be a marathon runner, and I know well about the happy centers in the brain and endorphins, because I used to run 7 miles every morning just for breakfast, just so I could get my endorphins going, because I loved the synapses of my brain going off, and it really told me I was alive. And it allows you to feel on a different level. And folks, we really do have to share this love, because failure to do so will keep this mayhem, this insanity going. We are the change that we want to be, and we just have to step forward and take it. And we have the power, and y'all have the power. That sounded like a damn Louisiana thing, y'all. Well, see, that's what happens when you intersperse wood. That's all right. I go across all borders, folks. I go across all lines, because I fit everywhere I go. It doesn't matter whether I'm with my Spanish brothers, my brown brothers, my white brothers. I don't create a chasm in my mind, because you know what? They're just like me, and I see them just as the way I see myself, as the love, the harmony, the heart, and this is where it all lives, and this is where you all live, and we need to collectively come together. And the time is nigh. It's time to move forward, folks. This ship of state of theirs is pretty much about finished. They're getting the memo on multiple levels, and I love it. I have excellent memos. And yes, I'm like Rain Man. I'm a good driver, and Kmart sucks. But see, folks, you can have a sense of humor. You can make. You get my Rain Man thing?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Judge Wapner.
yeah. Wapner's out at 3:30. Got to have cereal in my pancakes. Yeah. Anyways, my sense of humor has been brought up to another level. I get into some of these rooms, and Karina, I'm throwing a shout out to her. She's really killing me where I live. I almost had to perform a Heimlich maneuver on myself the other night because she put some stuff out that I almost lost it, and I almost inhaled when I should have been exhaling, and I was eating food never should be eating, and Skyping at the same time, not with that crew that was in the room that night because they were killing me. But they bring the love, and I'm seeing this love. You get Brother David in there, you get multiple others, and I can feel the heart. I can feel the spirit. I mean, folks, I would have never thought this in a million years. I mean, the things that are happening in my heart, my mind, and my soul, it's unparalleled to none. This is an experience that I've been robbed of pretty much my whole life because of the duping and them telling us not to think the way we're supposed to think. So, anyways, with all that being said, it's a beautiful world, folks. It's not just black and dark. Even though we share the black and dark, you know what? I'm beyond it. I'm not a party to it. However, the nefarious ones doing their dirty deeds, there's gonna be a day of reckoning. It always happens, folks. This is good. Always does supersede evil. What goes around comes around, and it is all on the wheel. And maybe it's not happening fast enough. But you know what? When we all get our paradigm shift with love, they can't breach our castle. So on that note, God, I'm feeling like a marshmallow tonight.
Isn't it great? It's Friday night. We're supposed to be marshmallowing. It's all good. Marshmallow, mellow, you know. And I just wanted to do a little shout out here for the Regal. In terms of getting rid of the fiat currency, we're going to go through a transition here of getting off of this fiat addiction that we have with ferns and dollars and pounds and euros and all this other crap. So I would urge you to head over to Freedom Reign's website. That's www.freedomreigns.us, and there's links there to the Regal Exchange. And there's also, in order to get this thing launched, there is a little fundraising needed for it to be able to get into the very specific servers that they need to get this thing rolling. And lots of research on the Regal Exchange website. It's linked on the freedomreigns.us main page. So head on over there and go and get educated about something that we can use as interim in the meantime until we get to the perfect area of gifting, which is where we need to be. Where money doesn't exist. Because, when you think of things like cash and the fact that matter is being created out of the ether, it can be made in any form. Think of your replicators on board the Enterprise, the USS Enterprise starship, and you'll get an idea of the kind of technology we're speaking of here, where we can create that which we need. And Gaia is full of abundance, and we have to stop thinking that there's a shortage of anything. There isn't. I love when people say there's a water shortage. Guys, the planet's 80% water. What part of shortage are you missing here? There might be an inability to deliver the water and filter and put all your poisons in it fast enough, but there is certainly no shortage of water, I assure you. Anyway, so I just wanted to put that out there. So if anyone wants more information, just go over to the website and have a look. We are going to need a transition in the meantime, and we're almost there. The system is going to come down, and it's kind of ironic, guys, that here they are wanting to collapse the system, and that's exactly what we want. And all of a sudden, because there's no fear in a system collapse, They're doing everything in their power to keep the damn thing floating. It's coming down. There's nothing more that they can do. You can't build creation with debt. It just doesn't work that way. So anyway, that's really all I have to say. We've got about 12 minutes left, so if you guys will wrap up a little bit, by all means, go ahead. Get all marshmallowy. And, oh, by the way, Creative, feel free to bust Peter's chops again tonight. I had a howl with you guys. Absolutely. The other night, just watching the Perry going back and forth. It was good. You know, that's why I love the Skype rooms. And please, Skype me if you want to be a part of the group. It's beautiful energy in there. You can Skype me at katie.renee.thompson. The name I don't use anymore. That's why there's a full stop in front of it. Anyway, it's Katie, KATIE.RENEE.THOMPSON. Oh, and if you are a U.S. general that's trolling the internet, like I get 3 or 4 hits of those a day, I'm not interested in being your friend, okay? So just letting you know that I ignore block, I block, and then I report abuse block. So just, you know, all you apparently very lonely, there must be hundreds of lonely generals out there. But anyway, there you go. Just thought I'd share that. So take her away, boys. We've got about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think we're all getting paid.
Like I say, I'm sort of in a different mindset. I am on a little bit of medication, but the medication doesn't change who I am. I've been in some pretty serious pain with this tooth. It's pretty. I made a running joke. I says, yeah, my face is killing me, and I think I said to somebody else, I'm sure it's killing you too. Because, anyways, the pain is a little bit up there, but at least I'm hoping to resolve it, and we're fixing to pull a couple. And like I say, I had a beautiful day, even in spite of the pain. I got to meet this really nice doctor, and she was getting the memo, and she wanted to know more. So, you know, folks, we don't know where we're going to spark that light in the contacts and the people we meet. So, you know, I'm just putting it out there. When you throw it out there, it really does come back. So that's the beauty of all this. So I'm excited because we're moving to different levels on many areas, folks. And you're on the right train. And this train ain't going to Camp FEMA either. So, you know, that's the fear factor. That's the fear factor train. I don't have a ticket for that one.
Yeah,
what do you think, Tony?
Yeah, more than that, you've got a ticket off it. Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like anybody listening tonight. As we said earlier, I mean, get out of her lest you suffer in the sins. And they're talking about the system. It's only when you read it in the right way that you can understand. Oh yeah, I see what they're saying there. I see what it means. I see the allegory in it and how it actually is real, but just on a different level. And when you can look at it on a different level, it says it all. Same as the truth will set you free. Again, the truth about what? Well, the truth about everything. And this is the point, one piece at a time. Like you said, you can't eat an elephant in one chunk, if you like. You've got to break it down into pieces. You've got to arrange those pieces so they all meet up with each other and then make sense. And then you can see the whole glory of this picture, bit by bit by bit. And that's just the way we've got to do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's step by step. We all know that, you know. We're all going through our own growing pains, and like I tell everyone all the time, really, you just got to take a moment to breathe. You know, get within and find some peace within, because if you're constantly staring at this nightmare that's called the physical world around us, as it is right now, it'll drive you batty. And honestly, when you're not at peace with yourself, all you're doing is adding energy to the battiness. So I implore people to take I don't care, take 10 minutes, take half an hour. If you can take an hour just to sit and meditate, toss your tongue to the roof of your mouth and let the energy flow, and turn your brain off for a bit. You'll find a lot of peace there, and you'll find in the silence, when you can shut down the Cain left mind, that the able right mind will suddenly go into overdrive, and you'll be able to store a whole lot more information with the 90% side of your brain versus the 10% you've been using all along. And just get some peace, because the more peace you can find, the better centering you have, your auric field that is going out is affecting a lot around you. So I would really ask that you calm your own chaos so that I'm not having to get all frazzled by it, because I'm trying to keep mine in that position too. And, you know, tomorrow or even tonight, depending what time of day it is, wherever you are, you know, make a conscious, aware, intentful effort to pay something forward. You know, I mean, say if you're in a drive-through or whatever, getting a coffee, and you know, buy the one behind you just for shits and giggles. You know, if you find yourself out walking in the street or whatever, if there's someone there that's homeless, by all means, I wouldn't even say toss them money, but if you really want to help, then you know, make up a basket full of sandwiches and you know, healthy stuff, and go out and hand them out. You know, when people get the notion that someone else actually does care and love for them, their world changes too, because what you've done is you've given them a little bit of naphtha for their fire that has been dimmed to a degree that you should be thankful for, that you're not the one sitting on the street in desperation. You know, and that's not to say you're giving you know, handouts. You're not. If you're giving somebody money to go out and buy, you know, smokes or beer or whatever, because that's where they're at, you know, at their particular phase, you're not helping them. But if you're giving them something healthy to eat, you know, maybe 5 minutes of conversation as well. Be the light. So, you know, make a conscious effort to go out and change something in the world around you tomorrow. And it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be big.
To be a small.
Yeah, I tell you,
Hey.
You can empty the ocean with thimbles if you have enough people doing it.
Yeah, ask my daughters if they've seen a change in their daddy over the last 90 days. I've never really been, you know, the doting kind, but now I make sure to try and show them a little love in the morning, give them a nice little hug, and just that human contact every day to start the day, and let them know how pretty and beautiful they are as my little world. And boy, I'll tell you what, I see a paradigm shift coming to them because it's coming through me. They sense it, they feel it, and it's like I say, I become Mr. Marshmallow now. What the hell's up with that? From making everybody do push-ups back in the military to now coming to that softer side of me that I didn't know really. I knew it always existed. It was dying to come out. I just wasn't sure how to bring it out, and now it's just coming out readily every day without pretty much no effort. I go out of my way to try and do something that's going to change somebody's heart for the day. So, you know, that's called living life on purpose, I guess. It's a real neat thing, and boy, and you know what? You get it back tenfold. That's the neat part. The more you give, the more you get, you know, and you know, not from users. You know, there's a lot of users out there. Users, they don't get no benefit of a gift because they're users. But when you give it freely and unencumbered with no attachments, it comes back tenfold, because that good vibe, it finds you, and it really does come across your doorstep. And it's been happening to me every day. So, you know what, folks? I'm living proof. And so aren't you all. You just have to grab it.
Yep, living the now.
Yep. Every day is a great day. Every day waking up breathing is a real good day. And, you know, nobody said life was going to be easy, folks, but it can still be beautiful in the same breath. So instead of grabbing onto the negative vibe, grab onto the positive vibe. Turn it over and find out what happens. And I'll tell you what, you'll be amazed.
Yeah, exactly. This morning you didn't wake up to someone going, clear! Okay, so that's a really good start, you know. The breathing thing works really well with me. I really enjoy that first thing. Well, guys, we got 2 minutes left here. I just want to let people know that they can get a hold of me through my blog page, loveovermind.wordpress.com. I've already given out my contact info, so feel free to download this episode when it's done. That way you have no recourse in saying that you don't know how to get a hold of me, and make a point of it. And don't forget to get over to Peter's site, privatis.me. That's privatis.me. The brand new site. That's private entry. Get your butts in there. And of course, Tony, Your website?
My website can be found on your website, Kate. As you
Yes, it can. Yes.
But yeah, it's awakeconsciousawareness.com. And one thing I briefly wanted to point out, Peter mentioned earlier about having tons and tons of books that you need to read. The way I've put my ebook together, it's all video lectures and video scientific information backed up with all some good, the best solid sources that I know on each level. So it took a long time to put together, but it's very quick for the people that
Matter of fact, I need to, brother, I need to post your stuff over at that site because, yeah, you have some excellent meat and potatoes information. Of course, with my massive schedule, I have not had a chance to dig in extra deep, but I will when I can find a spare moment amongst all the other moments that are keeping me busy. But yeah, it's I do make the time, folks. Even in the busy, I make the time.
Everything is converging, guys. Absolutely, it's all converging, and I will urge you guys to tune in tomorrow night from 7 to 9 Eastern Standard. It's going to be a special edition of Outside the Box. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet, but it'll be fun. But I did want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight to Freedom Reigns Outside the Box on Blog Talk Radio. Thanks to everyone in the chat room on Freedom Reigns. And I wish you all a beautiful evening and an even more beautiful tomorrow. Much love to all. Good night.
Much love. Good night.
Good night, Pastor. Mendez got shot as well. That was another, a hit. And there was quite a few more. A lot of them are detailed in the book.
Yep. Anyways, Kate, carry on.
There's a lot of stuff surrounding this, and people just need to do their homework on it. Just pulling up some memory facts here that once I see some stuff, it'll definitely bring everything back into focus. Jerry Kane and his son Joe, and it's amazing when you see things like Jerry. This is the kind of garbage that came out, and it's agent provocateur. Jerry Kane and his scumbag son didn't amount to the white speck of to the white speck on a piece of dog shit. Okay, this is how quickly they turned public opinion based on agent provocateur assassination of a man and his son for actually getting around to helping people. And if you don't think what Peter had just said, good, Patrice is in the chat room. Excellent, I'll be there in a sec. If you don't think what Peter is saying with regards to stick that moniker on you and look out, you better think again, guys, because, we're dealing with some very, very dark entities here that will stop at nothing, including killing their own. And I'll lay dimes to donuts. I never got digging into it, but the chief who lost his son was guaranteed in the Masonic or of some nefarious group. And I'm not saying that all the Masonic is evil. I need people to get this. It was turned that way. Okay? It was, again, we go back to the assimilation of things that were kept that were good that got infiltrated and destroyed as a result. And I got to tell you, my firm feeling on it and intuitive on it is the fact that the chief knew this was coming, and he knew his kid was going to get sacrificed, because he was, for the most part, and any time I saw him in any of the interviews, he was lacking any real emotion, and anything that he did seem to put out was feigned. These are the kind of beings you're dealing with. So I need people to steer away from terms like free man or free man on the land, sovereign citizen, because they've got their attack dogs trained to jump at the first sign of it. And I'll tell you something, even if you motion like one of the ones that these guys are trained to jump on, they will automatically assume you to be a sovereign citizen or a sovereign or a free man on the land, and they will act accordingly.
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's why I've been trying to put out the message. Like I say, if you want some clarity on the subject, simply go to privatus.me, a free site for free private members. All private members coming to the front door, and you go pull up the Informer. Matter of fact, we broke it down into citizen equals subject article.
Back to Jerry. Kane
was uncovering the mortgage scam.
Yeah, he was very, very, very successful in uncovering the mortgage scam, and a very peaceful being. And the whole setup was they did have guns in the car, but they were completely legal as far as everything was concerned. And it's not uncommon for Americans to carry rifles in their car, AK-47s included. One of the things that I did want to make clear, it's been a while. I covered this story extensively, insofar as even getting some people to talk to me about it. The setup occurred. It was a wrong call, and it was made, but it was effectively a setup, and they actually sacrificed the chief of police's son. That's how serious they are about wanting to entrap and give the public viewpoint of how dangerous sovereign citizens are. They actually took out a chief's son. His kid was sacrificed for it. And don't kid yourself, they did this, because when you look at the original 9-minute video from the police car, that from the actual scene, you will see, and it took them a while, and they didn't release the audio on any of the videos, which is also very interesting. But for the 9 minutes, you see Jerry walking back and forth to the van and getting a drink out of the van, talking with these cops. And what was actually occurring there was the cops and Jerry and Joseph were being basically held there so that the strike team could get there to set up this assassination massacre to try to take out Jerry and Joseph, who by quick thinking were able to defend themselves and get out of there. But the two cops were the main first targets, because it had to be the cops taken down so that they could brand sovereign type people with this whole danger moniker. And every time
and Kate, let me just interject, folks. For those of you who don't know what agent provocateur is, they are predictable. That's all they know how to do. Agent provocateur means we created the crap storm, and then we're going to point the finger at somebody else. And yeah, they did it with 911. They did it with the Gulf of Tonkin. They did it with World War I, World War II. Folks, they are predictable. I mean, hey, they're telling us straight up that they're the nefarious ones that be, and by their acts and deeds, you shall know them who they are. And folks, all you got to do, it doesn't take nothing to uncover this stuff. I mean, you just got to. Anyways, Kate, I was just interjecting that part about agent provocateur, just in case anybody didn't know what that is, and look it up on your computer so you'll have more clarity.
Yeah, they were all over the London riots as well. We had different areas of London with riots kicking off. We had agent provocateurs out there. The police actually took them down at one stage, and they've all got issue boots on, so you could see a mile off.
7/7. Look at the dates. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. It wasn't just that. It was several occasions. We had police pulling people off kids off bikes and beating them.
Hey, how's it going? And welcome to, excuse me, I guess I got to get this right. I can't say outside the box tonight. This is Tony's hour, or a couple hours. Welcome to the Cosmic Blueprint Show. I'm the co-host, Kate of Gaia, and we have Tony, the host. Where are you, Tony?
Yeah, I'm here, Kate.
All right, there you go. And we have Peter with us as well. And it looks like we've got the topic all fired up, and we'll take it to a whole new level tonight, boys and girls. I hope you're ready for this. Put your seatbelts on. But tell me what's on your mind. Peter, what's on your mind?
You're cracking up a bit there. Could you just repeat that last one?
What's on my mind? How's that?
Okay, it's all good. What's on my mind? Crikey. Where do you want to start? But quite a lot of different topics. We've just done a great show earlier on this evening, exposing quite a few not so pleasant individuals in Parliament and what they've been up to, or basically followed off the back of the Jimmy Savile nonsense. But it's not too pretty out there. But look, let's look on the good side. All the negativity and the nasty stuff's getting exposed, and that paves the way to paint, a beautiful canvas with some new, beautiful information to make the repairs that we need to make to this situation. How's that sound?
That sounds just about right. Hey, it's all good. It looks like I just got word here we might have LB Bork calling as well, which would be that would be a nice surprise. That would be really good. So I'm hoping. And I do want to mention to people that you can call in. You can Skype in. All you have to do is refresh your blog page that you've got the show playing on to see the Skype button if it's not there. And those that want to call in on a landline may call in at area code 714-868-0749. That's 714-868-0749. So feel free. I've got the board, and Tony and Peter, well, they have the show.
Hi, yep. Peter. Good to have you on.
Yeah, just dealing with getting some FaceTime on a different level, if you know what I mean. I'm a little puffed up, but I'm putting it back trying to put it back in the box. I'm gonna have to have two taken out next Thursday, but no problem. Anyways, I'd like to start this night off with a little bang. Sovereign citizen training for law enforcement and prosecutors. Isn't that special, folks? Okay, I'm gonna get fired up on a tangent on the front end tonight because I've been saying this stuff for the last 2 minutes, the last 2 months. All these people running around saying, "I want to be a sovereign citizen." Well, you know what? Go ahead and claim that freaking moniker, and you'll show who you are, and they'll be glad to NDAA your backside and put you in as a belligerent because they got plenty of incarceration space in Incarceration Nation now because we've just, got that new contract from the CCA, Corrections Corporation of America. It says, hey, we can guarantee you 90% max capacity in all of our warehouses, our merchandise warehouses for all the chattel property. Folks, you can't make this crap up. I mean, this is what I've been trying to tell everybody. Everybody's got to get their minds right. I love y'all, and the time to move in the right direction is now. So, folks, this is where your education comes in. I have a plethora of information specifically dealing with this sovereign citizen crap that everybody wants to claim on my website under the subsection of The Informer that you can go read for your personal consumption and get your mind right because I'm telling you, this is not a joke. This is for real, folks. So now we're going to step it up a notch. Now we got the insane state of Virginia. Where have I heard that state before? Anyways, so here's the irony, folks. They want to create a new category for classification, and that's the one they're using. All these people who want to say they want to be a citizen, go read the definition of citizen. You're a subject. You're a slave. I mean, you know the words that you use, and pick your words wisely and know your status wisely, because if you fail to do so, it will have deleterious effects on you in a capacity unparalleled to none you've ever seen before. So continue to stay in the fog and not look through the smoke and mirrors and see the truth for what it really is, and you will stand divided in a place you never thought possible because of ignorance. Ignorance will be the death of my brothers and sisters. Hosea 4:6, my children perish for lack of knowledge. Well, folks, the only reason you're perishing for lack of knowledge is because you ain't going reading it. It's on my site. I can show you everything that I speak of, and, I love you enough to share it with you and to tell you, but you got to take the action. So, I mean, we get back down to this action stuff. When do we wake up, folks? When do we pull the curtain back? You got all of us, a couple of us standing in the breach. And what?
Hey, Peter. There was a few comments that was made with regards to the sovereign citizen. What I'm going to try to do right now is lend a little bit of importance as to what you're saying, because these guys went as far as to assassinate a couple of people, Jerry and Joseph Kane.
And I knew of them, and I know exactly what you speak of. And you had your one folk guy in the room giving his world according to Gart perspective, because he doesn't have a clue. So to that gentleman who's on the Skype and who actually thinks he knows something, better get a grip, brother. You don't have a clue.
Yeah, the whole thing revolved around the fact
they're all separated. So folks, you will get 100% clarity. You may not believe it when you first read it. I was sort of a little befuddled when I started reading it, but when I dug into it, it totally made sense, and it was 100% dead nuts correct. And now we're going to take this moniker that all you who want to use that moniker, and like I say, folks, you're all sovereign by just your ability of being alive. You don't have to state it ever. Whitbow versus Hopkins, it's a case where a man thereby is without having to state such. So quit using these damn words that will bind you up, because even if you don't say you're a sovereign citizen, just by saying the word sovereign, that will be the moniker that ties you into being a belligerent. And we got lovely Obama's new NDAA law passed at the stroke of midnight coming into this year, under everybody having their New Year's party and not paying attention to what was going on right in front of them. And, folks, that's the new created law for the citizen slaves. So go ahead if you really want to, lock onto that moniker. That's your choice, and you do so willingly and knowingly, but beware. They will use it against you, and that's the objective. That's why they're doing a beautiful little state-run seminar here in the state of Virginia, talking about the sovereign citizen movement. Well, they're not necessarily staged, as they say in the article. Well, I've got the article posted on the site over on Love and Me or whatever. So y'all just go pluck it up and read it for yourself. Start reading between the lines, folks, because they're really telling you what time it is. But so I don't use words like that. I've erased those from my vocabulary. And you need to too, because if you use these words, they will use them against you for deleterious effects against you, and it's not going to be a good thing. So it's not wise, folks. It's just, it really isn't. They'll know us by our words, and if you don't know how those words apply and you're using them, then you're using them out of ignorance, and those words can and will be used against you, just like all the crap that goes on in their fiction courts.
I totally agree.
You use these words. I was in the military 10 years. I believed in God and country. I didn't believe in the crap they were feeding me. I got my mind right. I knew something was amiss, so I started digging deeper. And I started looking into the words and what they meant and how they were applied. And folks, all these words that everybody's running around using, I just had a whack a friend of mine in California. She decided she wanted to be a sovereign citizen. I said, okay, I got to help get her mind right real quick. And I sent her an 11-page document that gave her total clarity and to never use those words again. And she now got the memo and she understood. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. So go over to Privatis, privatis.me. And go look it up for yourself, folks. Read it for yourself. Remember I told you I don't state anything I can't prove, and it's in black.